This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I'm here with William Savian, who's joining us all the way from Veneto, and we have Alessandro Dialuce,
Ciao.
who is going to be helping with our translation today. Alessandro is from Dialuce Exquisite Imports, and my Italian is not very good at all. So, with no further ado, I'd like to hear a little bit of the history of your family's winery.
Yes. Okay, basically his company started from his own grandfather, which was granted from the state of Italy, from the country of Italy, a piece of land after it was back from his birth after First World War. So basically this company started in the 1900s, the early 1900s. In 1925 his grandfather decided to go into wine production and started making wines. At that time he used to go with his with a tractor, with a bulk of wine just to service all the little towns surrounding his little town, just to pour wine for people. Okay. Then around the 1964, William's father came to be in charge of the company, so he started bottling the wines. And eventually, in 1990, he decided to go organic because he was basically aware, was hearing no background noise anymore coming from the countryside. So no birds chirping, no more insects as it was in the past. So it is okay. Looks like that we are not just killing insects, but we're killing ourselves.
Yes.
And so at that point, he decided to go organic. And he started his own organic production, which actually was one of the first winemakers to be classified organic in Italy. Then happens that the next step was to have his vineyard totally solar powered. So all William's vineyard is solar powered, so it doesn't buy any electricity from the grid. And also, so for this reason, it's a zero carbon footprint. Zero carbon footprint, and also it doesn't use just to clarify wet wines. So he uses a special kind of mineral. The name is bentonite.
Yes,
it's bentonite, and basically his wines are also vegan friendly. Okay. So there is a big effort in order to have it just to impact just the soil in the less way possible in order to maintain what is natural about a grape, even in the wine process production.
Fantastic. Now, William, I'd like to ask you a question. What are your first memories of wine when you were a small boy in Veneto? What are your very first memories of wine?
La prima memoria?
Che hai del vino quando eri un piccolo bambino?
Diciamo che essendo sempre cresciuto in un'azienda agricola, il ricordo era inizialmente del tanto lavoro manuale e di quel prodotto che era conservato come l'oro, come tuttora facciamo, però oggi mi trovo a guidare un'azienda a livello tecnologico molto avanzata, di conseguenza le cose sono totalmente diverse.
It's so nice to hear that, and I can tell you that his first memory of winemaking was that his family used to do a very big job with hands, and the liquid was stored as precious as it was gold. He remembers this. Then obviously now he's running a company that exported in several countries all over the world. Is very technologically advanced, because think that all the processors are temperature controlled. The steel is stainless steel. It doesn't want to use wood because it wants to perceive the characteristic of each grape.
Yes.
And it's also solar power, so there is a big technology. So you went from his family working with hands, smelled the must of the wine production, this liquid, just a big cap like it was gold, to this kind of technology, to just a technology jump that sounds like crazy, but eventually happened just in the last 30 years. So you can tell called hand picking, hand work, hand labor, and just storing this liquid as it was gold. So nice.
That's a good story.
That's a good story.
And William, how would you describe the overall philosophy of your winemaking?
Allora, come descriveresti la tua filosofia del tuo modo di fare vino?
Bella domanda.
Good question.
Come?
It's a good question.
Yes. E diciamo che alla base di tutto abbiamo la qualità del prodotto e sicuramente la salvaguardia dell'ambiente.
Certo.
poi con molto impegno tutto viene molto naturale. Certo, siamo un'azienda che si è impegnata nel produrre vini di qualità e anche biologici e attualmente li esporta in tutto il mondo, quindi questa è la nostra filosofia.
The philosophy is the quality of the product and protecting also the environment. So obviously then it needs also to comply to the demand of the market, and that's why he exports throughout all over Europe. He exports very much in USA, Canada, China, Japan. Yes. And so basically, but the first goal is the quality of product and protecting the environment out of that, because it's so hard when you see situations of winemaking that are so much processed with with pesticide and all these things, because at the end it becomes part of our body because we drink. And when you drink like wine that are done in a certain kind of way, for sure the next day you won't have an headache if you have a glass or 2 glasses of wine. And because at the end is a juice coming from a grape, so it's natural. It's something that is also living, because a bottle of wine is alive because it ages, it's young, it's aged, and then it get oxygen as soon as you pour that. So it's a living thing. And so he would like just to preserve this kind of process of taking care also of the environment in which his wine are produced.
That's very admirable. Yeah. So, here's a question for you. We were speaking about the demands of the market.
Yeah.
I would be interested, how much of your production is Pinot Grigio, and do you ever think the Pinot Grigio bubble will ever burst?
That's interesting. Qual è la percentuale che fa di Pinot Grigio e se mai verrà sul mercato una richiesta di Pinot Grigio con la bollicina?
Oggi nella mia produzione il Pinot Grigio pesa per il 30% circa.
Okay, no, the Pinot Grigio he has the 30% of his own production.
30%, okay.
Yeah.
E stiamo pensando a un Pinot Grigio spumante. Abbiamo già fatto dei test. L'abbiamo presentato negli Stati Uniti e in Italia. Il risultato sembra ottimo e credo che per il 2019 saremo pronti a partire con la linea del Pinot Grigio spumante.
Oh, that's so interesting. So basically is a project already in plan. They have already created a Pinot Grigio sparkling.
This is a contingency plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
is already being presented to Italy, United States, and they feel that from the next year on there will be in production a sparkling Pinot Grigio.
Interesting. Okay. It obviously doesn't have the same characteristics as Glera, but what do you believe Pinot Grigio brings to a sparkling wine?
Chiaramente non avrà le stesse caratteristiche del Glera.
Pinot Grigio è un prodotto sofisticato perché per dei palati particolari, per degli intenditori, e il Glera invece è molto più easy per tutti.
Okay, no, Pinot Grigio can be a kind of very interesting grape, even though is very much spread out throughout North America, but it's a product that could have a kind of consistency and interest and some kind of different layers of just the back taste, which could be also a wine that could be interested to even somebody that has got a discerning palate. So you would think that for some way it would be a very interesting sparkling wine, even though at the moment everybody thinks that it's Prosecco and that's it. But from his own eyes, from somebody who was born and raised in a vineyard and keep on working since he was a kid until now he's 40. His vineyard actually, his kids, they are attending the enological school in Venezia, so it will be the 4th generation to run his business. So from your expertise, it comes to understanding which Pinot Grigio will be able to give a very interesting sparkling wine.
Interesting. And I'd be intrigued where your biggest markets are for your different wines.
Yeah. Qual è il tuo maggior mercato per i tuoi vini, magari divendendoli per tipo di vino?
Allora, il primo posto con il Pinot Grigio è per gli Stati Uniti. Le bollicine hanno una distribuzione omogenea in tutto il mondo.
So the first market for Pinot Grigio is United States.
Yes, yeah.
The sparkling wine are homogeneous, like it sells a Prosecco quite anywhere in all the countries that I mentioned before, like all over Europe, all over North America, Japan and China.
Is the UK a big market for the Prosecco?
Big market in UK, yes.
So what will happen with Brexit?
Però per noi non è un mercato importante.
Che cosa
in
accadrà?
percentuale nel mercato del Prosecco l'Inghilterra ha un peso importante, però per noi segna forse l'1%.
Ci sarà un impatto dalla Brexit, secondo me?
Non lo so, non credo però.
Okay, so basically, even though Prosecco is very popular, it's
Yes.
a big market for the UK. In this case, just represents 1% of the production.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
On another note, just talking about Brexit,
Yes.
it does not know very much.
I don't think anybody knows
Yeah,
at all.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Everything is up in the air right now.
Yeah, it is.
Now you also make some interesting red wines, which are well, some of them are indigenous varietals to the region. Would you mind speaking about those, please?
Ha detto se parliamo dei vini rossi, dove praticamente, his production is focused much more in indigenous and autochthonous grapes. Talking about reds, his indigenous grape is Refosco dal Peduncolo,
Yes.
which would be Refosco by the red stem. And he also has in production a Merlot and a Cab Franc, which eventually they're doing pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Malbec.
And a Malbec. And a Malbec,
also.
and actually, this is a big point because our Malbec is sold very much in Alberta. Very, very big because everybody says Malbec from Italy.
Yeah.
And I say, well, actually, it was very popular before they came, some other kind of vineyards during the middle 70s, I would say. And before the middle 70s, there were a lot of vineyards that were from Malbec.
Was it known as Malbec there or under a different Italian name?
No, Malbec has always been Malbec, but
Right.
in the middle late 70s, at the end, a lot of brewers they changed Malbec with Sangiovese, or è stato cambiato. With the Merlot.
Right,
because
right.
At that time was being like trendy, so
Yes,
brewers
yeah.
okay.
Malbec è il primo cugino del Merlot.
Yeah, and Malbec actually is the first cousin of the Merlot.
Yes, yeah.
So what happened is that we sell even very big. I totally forgot. I don't know why. Is that our one of the red wine that we sell the most in Alberta is a Malbec.
Interesting.
And the thing is that in all his wines he doesn't use wood. Why? Because he would like to preserve like a kind of tannins that come from each different grape. In this way, somebody who enjoys his wine is able to appreciate the difference between a Refosco to a Merlot, or from a Malbec to a Cab Franc.
And not just enjoying a certain Cooper's oak.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Exactly. This is a big point. This is one of the point of definition.
Yes.
From like the old continent winemaking towards a new continent winemaking.
Yes, I understand. Okay, and I'd like to ask you about this wine here. This is the Verduzzo, which is a grape that we don't see too often over here in Canada.
Exactly. Verduzzo is another grape indigenous from Veneto area. Actually, it means like just greenish, because verde in Italian is green in English. Its name will be greenish, because if you do a visual tasting, you can see a little bit of green hints.
Okay.
Not liquid. And actually is slightly aromatic grape, so it's slightly sweet and slightly effervescent. So it could pair pretty good either with the starters or with dessert. Actually, one of our biggest market of this product is BC, Vancouver, because over there is a big Asian community.
Yes, yeah, I can see.
This wine could pair perfectly with a kind of Thai restaurant or Chinese restaurant that essentially they have some kind of like a kind of sweet and sour dishes,
Yes, yeah.
which this wine could actually pair pretty good. And is it something that, for our point of view, is old because it was done since the beginning of
Yes,
over there in Italy, but from a North America perspective is very new, and we try to launch to the attention of people here in Toronto also this grape that here is pretty unknown, but actually we're doing very good in BC.
It's very interesting. I can see it working well with certain types of cheese courses as well.
Yeah, cheese courses, I would say even not with dessert, as long as they are not very fatty or acidic, and it could pair even with cheese or with jams. So
Right.
It's a pretty kind of resilient wine as long as you don't overstretch it.
Oh,
but it's
great.
a very interesting something unique.
Yeah, fascinating. Well, I'm looking forward to tasting through the rest of your wines. Thank you very much, William and Alessandro, for
Thank you.
putting up with my terrible questions today.
Enjoy and
And
cheers.
we look forward to seeing you very, very soon.
Beautiful.
Bye for now.
Thank you. Take care. Ciao.